this meeting. Sometime in my experience, I have been doing this for many years, and my experience with summers, the attendance is a little bit low. I think it's vacation time, kids and vacations, people traveling, but that's what is my experience usually with the overall attendance during summer. So just want to let you know this is kind of tip. I want to start by sharing a little bit of the history of these meetings. These meetings start here in Denver 8 years ago. We used to meet in person. And I used to get these people from everywhere, and we used to meet in restaurants from different countries. That's how these meetings start. Then during the pandemic, we took it virtual. And I really like it because it's global now. So that's the history, and I've been doing this for a while. I took a break actually at the end of last year, a few months, took a break because I went back to school. I am doing my PhD right now. So I thought, you know what? I need a break. I need to kind of focus and start my program. And the way that this meeting goes is like this. We're going to start by introducing ourselves. We're going to start with our name, what we do, what kind of company we have, or we work for, what kind of service and product. And then we're going to be very specific about what is a good lead for us. The more specific we are, the better off we are. So let's be very specific. What will be a good lead for us? Then after that, I usually have a question. And today, the question is that you guys are going to answer is, if you have the opportunity to have dinner with someone important, could be a celebrity, could be someone who already passed away and you admire, a mentor, who will be that person that you would like to have dinner with and why? So again, introduce yourself, introduce your company, share what will be a good lead for you. Oh, also, and very important, share where you are located. And then you're gonna share, if you have the opportunity to have a dinner with someone, who that person will be and why. Okay, so I'm gonna start myself. My name is Maria Punan, and I am from Bogota, Colombia, but I live in Denver since 30 years ago. I've been here for 30 years. I actually have an institute for leadership. And we actually certify leaders in emotional intelligence. And we used to have a very good program on diversity. Right now, we are actually changing due to the politics here in the United States. And I do an annual conference. A good lead for me is anybody, any leader anywhere in the world, because our institute is online, who will like to get certification on social emotional learning or just emotional intelligence. That's a good lead for me. Now, the question, right now I am located in Denver, Colorado. Now the question, who I would like to have dinner and why? I mean, I would like to have dinner. You know, I've been thinking about service lately. So the person that I would love to have dinner with will be Mother Teresa. And the reason why I would love to have dinner with Mother Teresa is because she said something in her book that I read. And she said that the best gift that you can give to anybody is a smile. And sometimes going back to the basics makes all the difference. So going back to what we were talking in the beginning, is investing in people, and I think that she did a wonderful job. And I think that no matter what we do, we should serve. So that's me. Now I will pass it to Katie. Katie.
Oh, thanks, Maria. I knew you were going to pick on me next. Good morning, good afternoon, and good day, everybody. I'm Katie Keith, and I actually am from Sydney originally, and I moved to the United Kingdom 9 years ago. So I've got a lovely bottle of fizz here from Champagne region, ready to drink one day. I might drink that on my 10th year here in the UK. I live out in Buckinghamshire, so I'm not quite in London, but I'm not far from it. 26 years in the financial services industry. I left corporate in December last year after 7 years of re-educating as an executive and leadership transformation coach. I launched KK Collective in January, and we curate peer spaces for women in business and run a coaching platform for women that have been there, done that, and got all the t-shirts, but they know that there's more t-shirts to wear. They know that there are still gears to shift, and we help them go from base camp up the ascent to the summit, because we are the mountain and the summit is what we make of it. So I take women on a transformational journey in either peer spaces or one-to-one. And I absolutely love that. I'm also the executive director for the Global Chamber in London and recently resigned from my position. So 1st of September, I'll be going over to lead as a board chair. So I'll still be very much in this wonderful community, leading, working on projects. One of the big passions for me is thought leadership. How do we get more women on the stage of thought leadership, getting their message out there, talking about the messy middles? So for later this year, I'm going to be launching a podcast. And so a really ideal referral for me is a woman that's been there, done that, got the t-shirts, isn't afraid to talk about her messy middles and wants to come and share her story with me globally. I don't just work with women in London. Yes, our circles are just forming in London. And Carla, you're coming to one of my open days in August, which is fantastic. So women in London, open days are there. Globally, I'd love to connect with women that are happy to share their stories. And actually, I was thinking about who I'd like to have dinner with, Maria, and I love this question. And I would have said Louise Hay, but sadly she wouldn't be able to turn up for dinner because she's left us. She's been influential to me. And then I thought David Attenborough, but I've already had a drink with him, and I love him because he brought the world into my living room as a child and made me realize that there's a whole wide world out there for us to enjoy. But if I could really have dinner with someone next week, I think it'd be Jacinda Ardern, who was the ex-Prime Minister of New Zealand. I think she's the ex, or is she still current? I can't remember. I just got her signed book, and if you know what, she's such a straight shooter. She says it how it is, and every time she's been challenged on that stage, as a woman in leadership and in a serious role, she's just got the best comebacks. And I just love to sit down and hear her story over a glass of wine and a meal. So that's a little bit about me.
Wow,
Yeah.
thank you, Katie. So you stepping down from your role with the Global Chamber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 years, 5 years leading London. And we've got Zainab Al Kahiro coming in, first Arab woman to lead one of our chambers. GCC specialist, foreign direct investment specialist. She's a powerhouse. And look, we don't step down from these roles until we've got someone 10 times better than us to step into them.
That's
And
a
I'm
good
really, really proud of that.
That's a good leadership. I think that that's what we have to do. The reason why I mentioned that, everybody, is because I used to be the executive director in Denver. So that's how we
That's
actually,
how we know each other.
Katie and I connect. Before we go to the next person, I love to ask Angela and Terry and Professor Dr. P.K. Rakput to please turn, and Vilma, to please turn your cameras on. We love to see faces, and I would like to connect. This is great that we are doing this way, but we would love to see faces. So thank you. Katie, do you want to call someone?
Someone.
You are mute. Okay.
Um, Dr. Denise Healy. I can see you smiling there. I'm going to
Well,
pull you to the virtual stage next.
well, thank you so, so much. It's an honor to be here. Um, my name is Denise, and Maria, I applaud you for going forward with your PhD. I just finished mine, so I was late to the table. Um, I needed to know more about my work I do. I work with, I'm an educator and psychologist, and I work with violent offenders. So I work with domestic violent offenders, and I started real small in 2015 after I retired. And now I have a team of 70 victims advocates, and we are all virtual. We were virtual before virtual was popular. And we work with referrals from the courts, probation, parole, corrections, and those who have been held accountable for domestic and intimate partner violence. And we've then expanded. We know in the United States, 41% of our female population and 32% of our male population will experience violence in their relationships. And so we have an amazing program. We have an amazing team. If I could do a shout out, I've been, because through my doctorate, I did a research on the efficacy of our programs. I wanted to do some evidence-based, um, you know, develop some information. So we now have the largest study on domestic violence efficacy and program efficacy for this population. And I'm just getting out there and talking about it and helping people understand this is not a national problem, it's an international problem. I've been doing podcasts and talking to people about how can we collaborate. This is a community social issue. How can we collaborate? I have this beautiful system that is tried and tested for 10 years. And now I'm in conversation with, I have a large cohort of my staff that are living in Colombia because we do English and Spanish, right? And so we have a whole Spanish division for domestic violence. And what's really powerful is through some podcasts, I'm making some international connections to have the discussion about how we can bring these classes to South Africa, to South America, to Central America, and to all English and Spanish speaking countries. We also can translate into other languages. And so I'm so excited. This is more than a job. This is a mission. Our success rate is very high. The attendance rate in these classes are like 52%, because we're dealing with a really highly resistant population. But I'm so grateful to say that our attendance rate is 89%. We have seen over 14,000 people since 2015. That's how critical this issue is. And so if I could, you know, reach out and collaborate with the powers that be in other countries and throughout the nation. We started in California, and we're the largest provider in California for these niche services. And we are now moving across the nation, and hopefully, our first step will be into Mexico, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. And so, who would I like to have dinner with? There's so many people that come to mind. There's so many people, male and female, but anyone who has um, broken the glass ceiling, anybody who has helped change the the complexion and the mindset of fixed thinkers and the biases that we have and those who bring people together. I'm about the win, 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 win. Right. And so people who come to mind are Jeanette Rankin. I don't know. She was the first woman in the House of Representatives. I would love to sit with Mrs. Obama. That would be kind of amazing to sit and have a not dinner with her, but go on a long hike, I think, with her. Um, do some walking or yeah, and any a lot of my clients um, transform. So sitting with them after their transformation would be powerful. And I get to sit with a lot of them. A lot of my staff have stayed with us since 2015. And so we don't have a lot of attrition like a lot of our staff leave. And so instead of doing an exit interview of why you want to leave and move forward, what could we do better? We did this whole stay interview, like, why are you still here? Right? So The biggest thing that my staff tells me is that they get to be a part of walking people through their human transformation from violence to nonviolence. Now
Perfect.
just imagine if we could do
Mhm.
that internationally.
Thank you,
That's
Denise.
that's
You are just speaking social justice right there.
social
So,
justice.
amen. That's what we need. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And congratulations that you finished your PhD. It's a lot of work.
Ooh, it was.
It is a lot of work, but congratulations. Now more than ever, I see why people is really deserve to call, when they go through that process being called doctor because they earn it. And here we have another doctor. So that's I like to see that. Actually, I have a compatriota here, Vilma. So we will go to that. Denise, did you gonna call someone?
Yes, Professor Dr. PK.
Hi, very good evening from India, and good morning, good afternoon to everybody. I was so excited to be a part of this great meeting because basically I'm a corporate professional. I have worked as a senior vice president for one of the leading Indian multinational company. But from last 3 years, what I have seen that how the COVID has changed the entire situation. So I've become professor of practice for multiple universities and multiple startups and the new leaders. So I keep on talking about the women empowerment, especially we start from the colleges, because from the college, from the university, if we are able to give that thing, that notion that every woman is very important and a person, a male should be respecting and maybe taking it as this is very important part which is there. So if we start putting this thing from the schools, from the colleges, those startups and leadership programs, it keeps on happening, they understand. But the mindset, especially when I talk about the Asian countries or the Indian countries, India, they will be thinking that why there should not be any difference between them because God has created us. God has given the same mind. God has given us entire empathy to understand this. So if you are able to respect a woman, you are respecting the entire community. And that's what my speech is when I talk about the gender equality, when I talk about the women empowerment, when I always say that please enrich the women so that they can take the responsibility because in my corporate working, let me tell you, women are very sincere. And today I can say I'm the only one male here, but I feel very blessed and privileged to be a part of such a great people because the respect comes from the heart. And when you start respecting and the women from the heart at any position, the entire organization, entire community, entire family is going to grow because I have personally seen about it. So when I received this message, I said, no, I don't want to miss this great opportunity while being a part of it because if a small part of this I can add it and I can contribute it, I think I'll be able to help a couple of the people which are very important. That's all about me. Thank you so much.
Okay, and what about if you have the opportunity to have dinner with someone, who that person will be? I don't know if I missed that, but I don't think so.
Okay. So the dinner with the person, it is always a person who is on the lower level. Why? Why I'm saying so? Because we are able to ignite the person. We are going to inspire the person, motivate the person. Because
Okay.
today, on the higher level, if we are able to motivate the junior people, the younger people, they will be able to see, they will be having the aspirations to grow up, which is very important. Because on the same level, it is same thing, me too, me too. But why there has to be me too? The basic requirement is to educate, to inspire, to motivate the people who wants to grow in their life, who are taking the baton for the future, which is very important. And once you do this thing, the group of the people which are junior, which are on the lesser level or which are very younger, so they will be getting lot of energy, inspiration, motivation, teaching, guidance, mentorship, coaching, everything will be there, and you are
Thank you.
able to provide the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That reminds me a book, and I was checking my shelf if I see it. I don't see it here, but I read a book that it was called Cast from Isabel Wilkinson. It was a really good book, and it was about what you just mentioned about the layers on the social status. So a social economic, very good book. So okay, so before I go on, something that I have learned that I would share with you that I think is good for us is when we meet people like in this space, is to really be present and to listen. Because after this meeting, it will be great if all of us make a connection with someone that we can work with. So let's be present and listen what people do to see if we can just connect. I will ask you to please, who do you want to go next? Do you want to call someone?
You can call any of, because for the first time I'm attending the meeting, you can call Carla ma'am. You can call
Carla.
Jamara ma'am, Carla ma'am.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's a hard one to follow. Thank you for that. Well, before I start, I just want to say that it's just so nice to be actually sat with a group of people that is all about helping people. And one of the biggest issues I've come across as well, certainly from my industry, is it's always the young and getting in with the young and helping the young. If we can get in there right now, hopefully getting in there right now, you know, Dr. Denise Healy would probably have so many issues going forwards, you know, and that's, so I just wanted to make that statement. It's so nice to actually just listen to everybody just doing that. So my name's Carla. I live near London. So just like Katie, I work an awful lot in London, live near London. So I'm in Surrey, really beautiful part of the UK. Been here just under a couple of years now. So it's really lovely. My background is sales. So I'm a sales performance partner. I've been doing sales for an awfully long time, and I am the original girl that used to really annoy everybody and pick up and cold call and try and sell you something. So I've learned the hard way, and then my sales career really did just take off, where I've done nearly everything in sales apart from the retail side. So I understand that, and then I was promoted into running teams, leading teams. And again, it was always the young coming up, because nobody goes into sales willingly. Everybody falls into sales really at some point in their life. And it's a hard job, and they are treated badly. And I find people are treated badly. I find it's a hard job. I find targets, and I find it very, very stressful. But I've also noticed with the right leadership again. So again, I've remodeled my business to more work with helping people. Because if people can master sales, they can master an awful lot in life, because sales is one of the biggest rejection jobs you'll ever have. And it's rejection after rejection after rejection. If you can coach somebody through sales, it wins in your personality. I've seen people come through sales training and just win at life in general, because they don't take rejection. You know, they can understand rejection from other parts of their lives when you've actually had these conversations. So ultimately, at the minute, best people for me to speak to, a great lead for me would be anybody that is thinking about growing their business, going into sales. Let me talk to you, because you will hemorrhage money and you will make so many mistakes. But there's a responsibility from an employee side, and also a responsibility from the worker side as well. And if you match those two up really well, you've got a great team. You've got a great team. Hence, right now, I see sales managers in positions that shouldn't be in positions, and they are struggling. And these are decent people that really want to do really well. So right now, I'm writing programs for them. I'm writing toolkits for them, because anything to help them that they'll just be able to download and take. So that's pretty much what I've just remodeled my business into now, because I'm tired of seeing that being such a hard industry with a bit of coaching and a bit of training, a bit of nurturing, a bit of mothering, maybe a bit of tough love on a few times, you know, they'll get through it. If I could have dinner with somebody, I think right now that would probably change an awful lot. And a few of you have chosen some that I would. So I'd probably go for Wayne Dyer at the moment. And it's probably from a really selfish term, because the man's voice calms me totally. There's just something about his voice. I don't know what it is. I can just listen to him all day long, and I've listened to how he's progressed in life, and he'll reach certain levels and he'll give it all up and go and do something else, that he's got no attachment to anything. And I always remember listening to saying, read The Untethered Soul, and it was one of the best books I ever read. And so phenomenally, I would love to sit and just, I probably wouldn't talk to him, I'd just listen to him.
Thank you, Carla. I echo that. Dr. Dan Wire has that voice that I remember listening that there is one program and a tape, actually, it said there are spiritual solutions for every problem. I cannot agree with you more. That's really good. And also you mentioned something that perhaps I believe we will be very interested when we finish the introduction to see if you can share with us, because you mentioned something that is understanding rejection in self.
Yes.
How can we make that muscle stronger? So if you can give us some tips before we finish the meeting, that will be really good. So
Absolutely.
I don't want to put you in the
Absolutely.
spot, but it's in your
No.
toolbox, and we are
I'm in
here.
sales. I'm used to being thrown in it. Throw me in it. I'm fine.
You want to call someone?
I'm going to have a guess at the names. It's Zamara Binet or Binet. I thought I'd try. I like a challenge.
Hi, thank you. Carla, you're fabulous. I love your style. Hi, everybody. So I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little bit intimidated with all you great people that have achieved so much in your life. I am originally from Puerto Rico. So I recently just moved to Washington, D.C. Back in Puerto Rico in my early 20s, that first decade, I had my own business. We rise up to the ranks. I took it up to 6 figures. It was in the marketing and advertising space, which was very subjective, and I didn't like the dynamics that often went down there in the entrepreneurial space. So I decided to do a career pivot, went back to school, did my MBA international business. And I now work in international trade, particularly in commodities. So I have started off with minerals, critical minerals, and fuel and gas and whatnot. And now I'm moving more into the agricultural side of things because there's a huge demand for things like sugar, coffee, cocoa, and all of that, more than we could imagine. And, you know, I started off with being the academic, not expert within my teams, but, you know, I had most knowledge than the rest of the vetting team doing the due diligence and whatnot, because I got exposure in international trade in my MBA. And now I'm more in the side of investments. I work with an investment fund, so I have access to this pool of people and whatnot. So I'm just like hitting everything with a stick and seeing what actually sticks. So I'm that point in my life where I'm seeing opportunities everywhere and I don't know which one to grab. So that being said, in terms of my ideal prospect, I would say that somebody that represents or has huge amounts of cash ready to purchase or purchase in a short amount of time, anything from 1 to 3 months maximum. Particularly interested in both agricultural commodities to fuel, oil, gas, and electronics. I feel very underexposed to women in my field because I haven't really found anybody else aside from, you know, fund managers and whatnot. I can count them with one hand, so being here, it's really exciting. So this bleeds a lot into my wish of the person that I want to catch dinner with, because I've been so exposed to men in this career. Like one of the people that has influenced me the most is one of my close friends. He also works for one of the top investment funds. And he used to be very close to Charlie Munger. And he tells me that a lot of the things that he had learned throughout his career, it was a mix of, you know, Dan Pena, his boss, and Charlie. And I've read a couple of books that are either from the authorship or are inspired in the life of the well-known investor. So definitely I will catch dinner with him if I had the chance, but he's already dead, so I would have to settle for the next best thing. That's me. So
Welcome. Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. If I were to choose the next person is Alma. That's it.
Okay. Yes, before we go to Alma, let me give you talk about, you just said, It's so interesting because you are in a very unique position. I think as women, when we have the opportunity to be the only women leading something, you have an opportunity actually to bring other women together, to teach what you know. So you are in a really good position, Samara. And there is a book actually from Isabel Allende that is called, I think, Elena del Valle. And actually, she was the first one who went to Chile. And anyways, did you like to read?
Yes.
I recommend Isabel Allende's last book. And that's great. And no, don't worry, you are welcome and you are part of this. So I'm so glad you're here. And I hope to see you next meeting. Now we can go to Alma, you said?
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening. My name is Alma Fuentes, and I joined the Global Chamber a few months ago. I'm original from Mexico, and I've lived here in the US for about 20 plus years, 24 years. And I've been fortunate to be in international business because that's what I went to school for. And I have a lot of friends that studied with me and are doing something else today. And I love my career. So I've been doing it for so long, and I've decided to do it on my own for a couple of years. And it's been very interesting because I was in sales for a period, but it was sales for somebody else. So I think it's different. So being on your own is a little different. But when it comes to my career, I think I've always liked to find solutions for stuff. And logistics and supply chain is about finding solutions. So I think I'm in the right space. And as a small example, we have here in the community an event every year, and somebody else was organizing it. And I was telling my husband how, well, if we did this, we would have more people, and the sun is always in our faces, and we can do. And he's like, well, why don't you organize it? And I love organizing events too. So I went ahead and organized it. And I think a couple of changes that I made from the previous organizer was what made it successful. And one of them was instead of having to go containers from the food truck, I told the guy that I wanted to have just regular plates because we had tables and tents and people stayed. So we had about 100 people show up and stay and have dinner and have lunch mid-afternoon, and everybody was able to connect and meet the neighbors. And so I think that was just making those little changes when it comes to talking about companies, when you make a little change in your process to make it better and your inventory. And so that's what I like to do. And when it comes to having somebody to have dinner with, I think any of us, I would like to have dinner with any of you. Last week when I first started here at Global Chamber, I met with Anita Rodal. She is in LA. And she reached out to me and asked me about how I was doing. And she's like, if you're ever in LA, just give me a call. And so last weekend, my husband had a conference to go to in LA, and I went with him. I called Anita and I said, I'm going to be there. And so we had brunch. And it was so nice to meet somebody that's in the Global Chamber that likes to do stuff and just refreshing and have brunch. So I think any person within our group, whoever wants to have lunch with me, that would be great. But I think we all have something interesting to talk about, whether it's in our regular life or business, and connect. Thank
That's
you.
awesome. Alma, thank you so much. Well, I will speak for all of us. Will be an honor to have dinner with you.
Thank you. I'm
Let
in
me know.
Arizona, so if anybody is here in Arizona, let me know.
Okay, and if you come to Colorado, just let me know. And I agree with you. When we meet in person, it's a
Yeah.
whole different story. We have something in common, but there is something about just getting connected with people in person is so, so important. Can you tell us what will be a good lead for you?
So anything that has to do with like implement a new system, process improvements. I've recently partnered with the Lean Six Sigma Institute through one of my friends here at Global Chamber, and we're offering online and in person also. But Lean Six Sigma has been very interesting for me to process and include within my systems, because it helps you make everything better within your processes. And so anything that has to do with process improvement, cost reduction, and Lean Six Sigma.
Perfect.
Anybody that wants any training.
Thank you, Alma. Thank you for saying that, because that we need to know exactly what will be a good lead for you. Do you want to call someone?
Oh, Anne-Marie.
Thanks, Alma. Hi, everyone. I am based in Ireland. I'm in Dublin, and I am a coach and mentor for healthcare businesses and practitioners. So my own background is nursing, and I grew my own healthcare business in Ireland. Well, I was Ireland and the UK. So I started that business in 2004 and I sold it in 2015. So it was all around workplace health, corporate health screening, medical legal assessments. I had a really great team. It was a challenge, definitely. The 11 years was, there was a lot of learning. And probably the biggest learning for me was growing a business at the expense of self-care. So a massive part of the coaching that I do with the people that I work with is around how to enable them to grow their practice or grow their business without sacrificing that self-care piece, because health professionals tend to, because of their love of serving and caring for other people, they tend to put other people's needs before their own. And that does two things, in my experience, because I had certainly experienced that. First of all, it doesn't enable them to grow the business as quickly as they could, because they have phenomenal potential if they're able to be in healthcare. And the second thing is then, even if they do grow the business, they tend to grow it and reach burnout, which I only realized when I had my business sold and I was 6 months into the, working with the buyers, just how burnt out I was. So any healthcare practitioners are an ideal referral for me: doctors, nurses, dentists, dietitians, physical therapists, psychotherapists, psychologists, particularly where they're a key feature in the business, and that could actually affect how they can grow the business. And then on the corporate side, I tend to work with pharmaceutical and medical device companies, and that would be mainly around team leadership and team performance. So very often I go in where a team is not performing, and we look at where are the areas of weakness, where is the potential for growth, what are they doing that they're doing really well, and how can we get them to do that in a more streamlined way. So that's me. The person I would love to have dinner with, that's a really interesting question. Up until 2022, I would have said Bob Proctor, because he's been a huge influence on the mindset stuff for me over the years. My clinical background is neuroscience, so I was always really interested in, why do people do what they do? Why do people get the result they get when others, don't? So Jack Canfield and Bob Proctor would be the two, I guess, that I would have followed. I absolutely love Wayne Dyer's stuff as well. I've done a lot of training with Brian Tracy. So I had the pleasure of having dinner with Jack Canfield in 2016 when I sold my business. He was in Dublin in 2006, and he got us to write. This is just for anyone who's kind of struggles or has bad days. He got us to write our goal. What would your business look like when it was successful? So I said I would have grown it over a 10-year period. I would have got it to at least €500,000, and then I would have had a buyer approach me. And I was writing this stuff, and I did not believe that this could happen. I remember going up to him at the end, and I wrote down in my notebook, I said, when I sell the business, I'm going to go to California and do your train the trainer program. So in 2016, when I went out there, I got to have lunch with him. Actually, it was lunch, not dinner. And I have my notebook from 2006, and it was a beautiful experience. So I would have actually loved to have done that with Bob as well, but unfortunately he passed away in 2022. But he was so incredibly motivating in terms of human potential and development. In terms of people who are alive, Michelle Obama would definitely be one for me, and also Mel Robbins would be a lovely one for me, because I think she's a fantastic advocate for female empowerment. So they would be my two. They would be my two people. So thank you so much. It's so lovely to meet everybody, and I'll post my LinkedIn link in the chat.
Thank you so much, Annie Mary. Really love to hear your story. And I really think that something that you did very well was not only, the work that you have done and put it into the business, but also to have your niche specifically. And I think that's a big part of being successful. The more specific we are, the better off we are in business. So that's great to hear that from you. And it seems like we will have people in common here to have dinner with.
Yes.
You're gonna call someone?
Yes, I will call Elizabeth.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Hi, everyone. I am Elizabeth Glynn. I am actually based in Los Angeles. I am part of the advisory committee here for the Global Chamber in Los Angeles. And yes, Anita Rodell has lots of energy. So you were good to connect with her. What I do is I work with specifically manufacturers, and my focus is a lot of companies are looking to grow. I help them to actually align their operations so that they can maximize export opportunities. And being in Los Angeles, for example, we're very close to the Baja industrial sector, which is 3 hours away and represents $10 billion of opportunity, and our manufacturers, small to medium-sized manufacturers, are just not connected. So that's where I'm focused. And as far as leads, ideal lead for me would be a mid-size manufacturer that ideally has done a little bit of exporting, that wants to grow their business, because then I can streamline that. And as far as dinner, actually, it's somebody new with all this on the tariffs. People here in the US most of us don't realize the impact of tariffs. And I've been listening to a professor, Justin Wolfers. He's a professor of economics and public policy out of the University of Michigan, but he speaks in really clear, specific terms and itemizes everything. And I think it would be interesting to sit down with him, maybe get some tips so that we can get more people involved and realize what's going on so that they act. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Please write the name in the chat box. That will be great to actually follow. I love when we have content with context that really matter. So that will be great. And before we move on, please don't forget to put your information in the chat box. And also very important, before the meeting is over, make sure to copy, to save your chat box, because once we close the meeting, it's gone. So let's take a couple minutes and please put your information there. I hope we can follow up with at least one person from this meeting. So Elizabeth, did you want to call someone?
Rabia, have you spoken? I think Rabia next.
You are mute, Rabia.
Good evening, good day, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to this session. I'm very inspired by such wonderful ladies around me. I am a solicitor. I represent a UK-based law firm, Spencer West, for Pakistan and Dubai. I'm the co-founder director for my own company, Roche Development, which is into merger acquisitions, private equity, business succession planning, arbitration, mediation. I have 25 years of banking, investment banking, commercial banking, and asset management experience. experience plus a legal 7-8 years. So I'm like wearing the hat of both legal and financial. I've chosen the field of acquisitions, restructuring. I help like businesses, do succession planning. I help businesses grow, like specifically SMEs. Startups, greenfield projects. Like currently, I'm in African region. I'm originally from Pakistan. I'm working a lot with the Africa government on public-private partnership, infrastructure-related projects, and projects pertaining to sustainable development, like water and salination, housing, like green energy, like renewable energy, agroforestry. Africa is famous for agriculture, and I'm helping the businesses turn into agriculture and help them obtain funding or equity or corporate finance. I'm a specialized Islamic finance expert as well. I'm a certified from ICRA UAE as an international arbitrator and Islamic finance specialist. I'm the author of the book and my thesis on international like criminal court. I'm the only one from Pakistan who went for my research at ICC Hague, and it was such an interesting experience. I wish I can share all that with you, but the time is too short. So the best lead, it was asked that what would be the best lead for me. So the best lead would be a high net worth individual or a family office who may seek my advice on wealth management. This would be one of the best leads for me. And the second question was that who I would want to have like dinner with. So any, historical figure, any like creative genius, a thoughtful leader, I would love to have like dinner with him or her. I would like to thank everyone, all the influential women from this platform who have invited me to this session today. Really inspired. I wish I can do something for you. I have my LinkedIn profile mentioned here. I can help anything to do with acquisitions, restructuring, succession planning. You can always consult me. I'm also a trainer, by the way, so I train on corporate attire, sales and management. This is what I do as a passion. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Rabia. Thank you for joining us today. And we are going to go with my compatriota, Vilma. And then after Vilma, we're going to go to Carla to give us a couple tips before the meeting is over. Okay, go ahead, Vilma.
Hi, Maria. Thank you so much. I have missed this meeting for several months, and I have been missing a lot. It is incredible to hear from so many great brains and great people who teach you so much. And I have heard about sales, rejection, diversity, equity, inclusion, and leadership, and helping others. So basically, I am in part of a system. I am a real estate broker. I work global, and I work licensed in Florida and North Carolina. And I have become more than a real estate salesperson and advisor. In doing this business, I find so many underlying lies, misinterpretation of law, people pretending to interpret laws and things that are completely wrong. Deception. So I made myself the mission to be an advisor, to educate anyone who wants to do any real estate transaction, educate them. And internationally, I work with developers, and I enjoy doing that because I learned so much. I went through a training course, two different trainings, working with international cultures for global cultural awareness, which was an amazing experience. Here we work with all kinds of people, and we think everyone is the same, and we don't think how they want things done. We don't see beyond the superficial or the layers of what we see. We need to see underneath, and that comes along with the diversity, equity, and inclusion. We kind of think of people from certain places. They are like this, and they think like this, and they act like this, just because they were born or belong to certain culture. And that was a big learning experience. And I see myself being a victim of that bias in general. And also I went to training that kind of made a bigger impact on my sales techniques, negotiation and influence, and that goes along with culture because it's about cooperation, working with others, trying to be in the same page of what someone needs and what I want to accomplish. Everything has to work together, like the bicycle. It goes along the chain and everything goes together. So I have been doing real estate for 18 years. Now I am more an advisor. I am a leader in different areas in my real estate business, not only global, but I also advocate for affordable, attainable housing. I have organized with universities and associations, not in Florida, in North Carolina, housing events for different housing stakeholders, which are many options for buyers, with banks, with nonprofits, with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. So it has been an experience that I have enjoyed and where I can see I can do a lot of impact in my service to my community as a real estate practitioner. So that's basically my pitch. I want to say, if I were have someone to have lunch with, it will be many of you. I mean, many of you taught me so much today. I admire Michelle Obama. One of the people I admire for her time is Eleanor Roosevelt. Many of whatever she says, I practice, and definitely she was a woman beyond her years. And I would like to learn more about Dr. Denise Haley program because I see in my experience, not only personal but clients, that definitely domestic issue is something that people don't see, but people drag around everything they do every day.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Vilma. Thank you so much. And we have 5 minutes, and I will give 4 minutes and 30 seconds to Carla. Please, Carla, take it.
I don't need that long, honestly. First of all, obviously, because I'm in sales, I listen. So, Zamara, a little tip for you where you're saying that you have got so much going on and you don't know what to go for. Go for 2, put your efforts into 2. You'll get the data back on whether they're working or not. If they are, bin 1, keep 1, move on to the next. Okay. You're better off doing that than you are doing little bits and absolutely everything. You're never going to get enough data coming back to you to then make an informed decision. You'll be better off doing it with 2. Okay, big sales tips there for you. Rejection. So when I'm with my teams and I'm training people in rejection, it is, I don't want to see them leaving in the day feeling really down. And when they are rejected on the phone, I do tell them to take a breath, because sometimes if they're having a hard call, taking a breath does actually give them and whoever they're talking to a moment to maybe let that other person reflect of how they've just spoken, because it's never about you. This is the thing that I need to get through to them. It's never about you. Rejection is not about you. It's about the person that's rejecting what's going on in their lives. So don't be judgmental about it. I've always said kill them with kindness, because there must be something going on. And you can, when you're calling out and you're doing whatever it is you need to do, you're going to hit somebody at a bad time. It's inevitable. Okay. You're going to get it. Don't take it about you. And the rejection, if it does come to you, it's not even about you. It's about the product anyway. So it's just because it's the product, not right person, not the right time. There's so many different elements. Do not take that to heart. Shake it off, come back, and just know that the next call is going to be a better call, because you don't need to be taking that stuff home with you.
Wow, that's a powerful one, because we tend to take it personally. Like, wow, what did I do wrong? Did I express myself wrong? Or we go through the list, but I think that's really
most people are in their own heads. So whilst you're thinking about what you did to that person's probably not even giving you the time of day. They're just telling you to go, no, don't need that right now. Don't need to do this right now. They're not even thinking about you. And you're sat there dealing with it, going, what did I do wrong? It's not about you. It really is about, unless you have the full picture of what's going on in their head and their lives to understand why they were in the mood that they were in, you can't take it personally.
Very powerful. Thank you, Carla. I think that is very important for us to always try to talk about our businesses and the stuff. Don't forget that Katie has now a podcast going. So reach out to Katie. And any question, quick question or anything that you get from this meeting, quick, we have 2 minutes here. Anybody want to say something that you guys, either a question to Carla or something that you get out of the meeting?
Hi, Maria. I just want to add because since in the initial I missed the meeting. So this meeting is going to be continued and being a leadership coach, because that I have not told, but 40 years was my experience, right? And being a member of Howard Square and all. So that is another part which I am giving it to the society. So please also let me know and include me wherever I'll be able to add the value, which is very important. That's what I say, because my first meeting which I am attending, lot many things had come out because initially for 15 minutes I missed due to some other work which was going on. So I was not able to listen to you properly. And when I heard the other important people, I said, oh my God, there's so many things are there which I thought I must be speaking here. Thank you so much. And I sent a mail to a couple of you, right, about my brief profile. I've requested you on the LinkedIn also. So please do follow me. All right. Thank you so much once again. Thank you.
Okay, let's give ourselves a round of applause. We did it. We invest in ourselves and see you next month. Okay. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Maria. Thank you so much.
Thanks so
Bye-bye.
much, Maria. Thanks, everyone.
Good to meet you all.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.